Dum 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 dum, just going around, cooking to myself. What the? Brenton?
Oh, hey, Nathan.
What are you doing in my house? Why did you go through the window?
Oh, well, I just thought it was the easiest access point. You
can just knock on the front door. It's right there. Why did you do that?
Well, it's classic movie banter.
Hey, dude.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Good, very good, bud. Just ready for another ep. Another day, another ep. 42. The meaning of life, 42.
Is it really? Like, because that's obviously a joke from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It is. Good job recognizing that reference. You're really in it. You know pop culture.
I thought I'd spell it out there as well as point out how fucking smart I am. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know, listeners, you know what I'm saying. But is it a good joke?
Is that? Please tell me that's the whole prologue. It's like, was that a good joke?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, while we're here, why not? It's like, I don't know, like, is there jokes that exist, or is there phenomena that exists in pop culture and anything that you just kind of don't get? Like, you get it, but you just don't get why it's so big, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's heaps of stuff. Like, what are the kids listening to these days? Or, like, what are the kids talking about these days? And I'm like, why is this in pop culture? Like, what was that whole thing going on recently with that scary chick? You know, there was that scary thing people thought was real, you know, with the... Are you aware of this?
Yeah, dude. There's like the chick that's like got like the Voldemort nose, but like two eyes that are too big, and then like the slit for the mouth that's like in this weird freaking smile. And
I know.
Like, okay.
I saw that photo.
So I'll make the...
I saw that photo, and I was like, how did they get photos of my mother?
Ouch. You know how the week after the castle, how you told me your mum's response was that she gave me the finger.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure after this episode, she will be giving you the finger, and I will have to report on it next week.
It's so good.
Let's be honest.
But yeah, she just texted you that.
Hi, Brenton. Please inform Nathan on the next podcast and pass along my finger. But if I could like demonstrate, just for our listeners, look up right now, scary face meme girl or whatever.
Isn't it like Momo or something, or Mojo or something like that?
I have no idea.
I think it's
Momo.
It's something like, I don't know, man.
Mojo, like Mojo Jojo? Mojo Momo?
It's actually a Powerpuff Girls throwback. Like,
no, but if I could like describe the sound she's making here, I'll get a picture of her up right
but like,
now.
I think the news story was like people thought Stu was real, and people thought, oh, this is a poor woman, and there's all this dumb, horrible stuff that's happened to her. It's like, it's so obviously a puppet. It was obviously like 12-year-olds on social media who have no business being on social media, just reacting the fuck out of this viral thing, and then like,
dude, it's terrifying.
It's
like,
pretty
I'm
haunting.
just looking at it again now. Like, it's... What the fuck is that?
But you know what's so funny? Like, because it's gone viral and everyone's like frightened by it, you know, like 2 years from now, we're going to get some fucking viral movie. We're going to get some horror movie based on this chick. And it's going to be the meme's going to be so outdated that by the time the movie comes, it's just going to be horseshit.
You never know. Look, if you put that on like a screen somewhere, like, it's just... Yeah... It's. I think it's still got a scare in it. Ready? Here's the noise it makes in my mind. Ready? Because it doesn't have like it doesn't really have like a proper jaw. It's kind of got like a bird's. So it'd be like more of a bird-like sound because it's kind of like a slit and it's like a beak. So it'd be something like. Ah!
No, I want someone to make a gif of that thing and just have Brendan's like, just like edited into it.
Or should it be higher pitched? I think it should be lower pitched because it's a big bird. So it should be like more like.
Do you just like sit in your bed just at night, just like making weird ass bird noises and like, just like, this will be useful one day? Like,
people are scared of Momo. I just freaking think, what does she sound like? And then I sit there for 5 days trying to work it out.
You're trying to do it. But is she like the only thing? Like, have you like seen other things in pop culture? You're just like, I don't get why this is big or why this is popular or why people are talking about it.
Last point I'll say about Momo is that it's funny that you don't get it because I kind of get it because I kind of think it's fucked up to look at, but it's also kind of funny like at the same time. They're like this is sparked like this much, and like some of the memes are just are too good, but. Let's talk about Shaggy memes.
Oh, okay. Sure. Because I am not that familiar. Okay, I'm going to be very upfront right now, Brenton, because I'm not that hip and cool with the culture. I don't do that many memes. Like, I don't keep up with the memes, if that makes sense. Like when it comes to social media, I try not to scroll through Facebook or Instagram or anything like that too much. So I normally miss all these kind of things. So what you maybe might need to lead this one, mate.
Okay, so I don't actually get how this started, but these aren't memes of like Shaggy the character from Scooby-Doo, like the cartoon. It's Shaggy from like the film that we were talking about recently. Yeah, the Scooby-Doo film from the like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And for some reason like these memes started coming out and they started coming up on my Instagram feed, like everything of just like pictures of Shaggy, like, and specifically the actor playing Shaggy, like obviously like in a interview like junket for the film, like just like saying random shit, like he's the master of the universe, or like, you know, like, so I've got a few up here right now, and you know, this is one, and it's got him in this interviews, and he was like, I was forced to use almost 2.3% of my power to completely challenge the timeline and not get on meme review to live forever. Like,
oh my god, that's like Tiger Blood level shit. That's like Charlie Sheen at the height of his popularity level shit.
like I just don't. It's just I don't get it, but at the same time, it's hilarious that like it's become a thing. Here's another one, and like here's Freddie Prinze Jr. like in an interview, like in his Fred with his Fred blonde hair, and he's like, it's like quote, Shaggy was so powerful he managed to kill a good meme just hours after its conception. like, and it's just always this shit about like Shaggy being powerful and like Shaggy being the secret master of the universe, and it's just so funny. Here's another one. It's like, again, this is Freddie Prinze Jr. as Fred, and it's like, honestly, the only reason I'm the leader is because Shaggy would unmask all villains at once if he used just 1% of his power, and he wanted to savor their suffering.
It's so great because like everyone knows Scooby-Doo, so like it resonates so deeply.
This one's bad.
Okay.
This one's bad. So it's Shaggy with a big grin, like in his interview thing, and he's got his hand up as well, like kind of in frame. And it says the last. Oh god, this is so bad. Very dark humor, people. So get ready for this shit. The last time I used 5% of my power, 6 million Jews died.
Oh my god! Wow. Nothing like a Holocaust joke to lighten the mood. Like, crikey, like some memes out there are very dark though. Like they'll cut into that. Like,
there's so many Jew ones.
Are you saying are they trying to frame like Shaggy as like anti-Semitic or something? Like,
oh, I don't get it. Like, listen to this one. It's the same image, and it says, "A Jew once stole my sandwich, so I stole the foreskin of every Jew to ever exist."
Oh my god. Why is there anti-Semitic jokes with these memes? I don't understand it. Like,
I don't get it. Like, there's other ones, like the other image they always use is like the one from Scooby-Doo 2 live action where he's like, he like drinks the serum or something that makes him like super muscly, but it's like,
oh
the
yeah,
you've ever seen.
That's right. It's so good,
and that's hilarious too. But these Shaggy memes, man, I think they're a good time. Obviously, I didn't know there was all these Holocaust ones, but
yeah, maybe not those ones. But you don't think the Shaggy memes will become dead memes anytime soon?
I hope not. I hope they continue to grow and become better.
They just become
it's
something
just so
else.
Stupid. Like, it's. I feel like I should join in. Maybe that's my life's calling, to become a Shaggy meme.
You know Hollywood's like only beginning to adapt video games. You know, they're trying to adapt board games, all that kind of stuff. Do you reckon we'll eventually get to the stage where Hollywood will make a movie out of a meme?
I don't know.
Oh wait, didn't it already happen? Didn't they try and make like a Grumpy Cat movie?
Didn't they? No.
I swear
Maybe.
this is a thing that exists.
I feel they did. No, but there was like an emoji movie, wasn't there?
Yeah, but emojis aren't memes. Like, you know what I mean?
But there was something like that. But I mean, like Angry Birds became a movie. Like, there's random shit that you're like, why? Like,
but why?
I don't know. Here's before we get into the show. Here is the last Shaggy meme I'll say. So it's like this actor in this. It's this guy playing Shaggy in this interview. He says, "No one really understood the toll Shaggy had on my body. I spent 7 months in rehab after the first time he graced me with his presence. The doctors were surprised when they found out I was alive after finishing the first scene."
Welcome to another fantastic episode of
Welcome to
Classic Movie Banter, where we share Shaggy memes and maybe sometimes talk about movies older than 20 years. I'm your host, Nathan, and you are with...
Shaggy expert Brenton.
Shaggy expert Brenton. He's something of a Shaggy expert himself. And he just loves sharing those memes, and we're here to review those movies that are older than 20 years and let you know if they're worth your time. Dude, I just hijacked the intro. I finally did it this week. I feel like I'm in charge. This is great.
Yeah, dude.
I'm running with it.
You go. You did a great job.
I feel like that kid who's just stolen their parents' car and they've driven out down the driveway and they're like, oh my God, I did it. But they get to the street, they're like, shit, what do I do now? It's like...
Yeah, I remember the first time I went driving on my L's. My first time I just got my L's. My dad took me for a drive. I did exactly that. I got past the end of the street, and I went around the suburb kind of area, and then Dad said, "Right, now you're gonna learn, son." And he made me merge onto the biggest highway on the.
Oh no, he's straight onto the motorway, motherfucker, and you're like, "What?"
Dude, he did, and it was the scariest shit of my life. And I somehow
what a dog move.
It was pretty. Oh, but that's one way to learn. We may have died, but luckily we obviously found out Brenton's not a bad driver.
He whips out the teleporter and he teleports the car to downtown New Delhi, and you're suddenly in the middle of Mumbai or something, and you have to navigate through all that shit. It's now you're in the thick of it, son, and you're like, what?
Definitely. But yeah, so today we're into our new episode 42.
Yeah.
From the intro, you may have guessed that what we'll be talking about is Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Breakfast at Tiffany's! Dude, I'm so excited for this episode. I've been wanting to watch this. This is even when we first started this podcast and you and I are let's review old movies that we haven't seen yet that we really want to just talk about. Immediately that was on the list was Breakfast at Tiffany's, because everyone talks about everyone I don't want to genderize, but nearly every girl I talk to movies about, they talk about this movie, and I'm like, I want to see this film. It's iconic. I want to see it. Have you been keen for this?
Yeah, I've been super keen for it. I mean, it's one of those films that everyone kind of talks about, and I just don't really have any scope of obviously what it is, or obviously I kind of knew some of the imagery from it, I guess. Specifically that Audrey Hepburn's character is obviously used a lot in promotional material and what say you?
Who doesn't have that action figure?
I've got 5,
and they're all the same. It's yeah, they must.
I got 5 of Audrey and one of Paul.
Yeah, and I make them all kiss.
And 16 of Cat. And half of Mickey Rooney.
Yeah, the bottom half that hasn't been caricatured.
Yeah, bottom half. Yeah.
So I feel like you and I were busting to get into this app because we've got some things to say about Breakfast at Tiffany's. So Brenton, can you please pitch me this movie?
I can pitch you this movie. So Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Welcome to my Hollywood office. All right, so we're walking in.
Here we go. Yep. Oh, look at this place. Look at that. Oh, it's
hello,
a nice
son.
Office.
Welcome
hi
in.
there.
Welcome in.
Hello, Nathan.
Have you heard of the band The Beatles? They might be a thing right now. Who knows? It's the 60s. I'm producer Nathan. I heard you want to adapt a Truman Capote book, and I thought, I love Truman Capote. Why not? I'll make this meeting happen. Pitch to me what you want to do with this novel.
So basically, I want to adapt it.
Oh, that's it?
Have you read the book?
I have. Yeah.
Sorry.
Is that it?
Let me continue my pitch.
And as a producer, I'm just okay. What a novel idea.
Yeah.
You got it. What a joke.
Yeah. Oh, shit. We're 15 minutes into the episode, I'll have you know, and we haven't said one point on this film.
we've just been fucking about just for too long, which I think is this podcast in a nutshell. Are you still pitching, by the way? Are you still talking to me, Hollywood producer?
Sorry. Let's continue. This film is about Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
Who plays this character, and who lives a very lavish lifestyle, in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
But likes to show that she lives a lavish lifestyle, and she meets this guy called Paul, who climbs through a window a lot.
Oh boy, does he! He's a mountaineer himself.
And they antics ensue where basically they get to know one another, as well as Paul is introduced to her lifestyle, and we learn as the film goes on. We learn more and more about Holly, which is the character that Audrey Hepburn plays.
Yes.
And we learn more about her, and there's a cat. and that's breakfast.
Wow, you're really making me want to watch this movie or give you some money to make.
Well,
this
as I
movie.
started this pitch, I just realized that what's wrong with the movie. And this is kind of what
Which is probably not a good thing to do when you're trying to pitch a movie to a producer. Like, wait a minute, there's a glaring flaw.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Seriously, let's get into this shit. Like, because seriously, like I honestly, what I wanted to say was, like, have you seen Streetcar Named Desire? Well, it's kind of a character like that. Except there's no Marlon Brando. Like,
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like, honestly, it's basically a character study on this woman. Is I can't spoil it. Like that's why I'm pausing so much, and I'm searching for a way to say this without spoiling the whole point of the movie. But she's basically someone that just like is pretending to be someone she's not. And that's what it is. So the reason that it was hard to pitch was because there's nothing like that basically like spoils the whole film if I go at it at that angle. So at the start, and this is it was very difficult for me to find a way in to this movie, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It wasn't until like the second scene of the two main characters that I was like kind of on board.
Oh, okay. So despite the fact you start this with a criticism, you like this film?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. What an astute observation.
Quite. You know what? I think I might do. Yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, very
Shall we
good.
vote? Well, let's talk a bit more.
Yeah. Well, bye everyone. Thanks for watching. All right. No, it was dude. I really like this film. I really like this film too. I had a really, really great time with it. Plot-wise, I think that's a good thing to mention. There is a story. It's about, like, you kind of work... Because there's a lot of mystery. I think this film's like a mystery romance. Because you're trying to work out what Audrey Hepburn's, like, situation is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's...
Yeah.
Like, you know, you go into her apartment, it's like... It's like classic girl trying to make it big in the big city. But, you know, she's tripping over herself. And she's, you know, making radically different pieces of clothes. And She's drinking a lot and she's partying a lot, but maybe she's doing something sinister. There is a subplot. There is a subplot where like she's you know doing something illicit potentially. Maybe she's caught up in the wrong crowd.
Yeah, she does some shady shit, man.
Yeah, maybe the glamour isn't always glamorous as it might be.
Or maybe it's just, you know, she makes some acquaintances that are probably on the wrong side of the tracks, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're hanging out by the Narang line. They're not good news. So she's that was a deep cut for our Gold Coast listeners. Look, Audrey Hepburn. Maybe we should start with her. What do you think of her performance as Holly?
Oh, it's great. You can see why it's so iconic and why she's considered one of the great actresses.
That sounded really sarcastic.
That's what I think. I don't know. I'm in a funny mood today. I feel like
You're just in like a troll mood today. Like...
it's too many Shaggy memes, dude. Like, it gets me in the mood.
You just like, as you're watching Breakfast at Tiffany's, you're like, it needs more Shaggy memes. Like, what if could you imagine if like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo rocked up in the middle of this film? Like, she's just like drinking her apartment, then like climbing through the window is like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And he's like, yoinks! and she's like, who are you? And he's like, you know what? I feel like her character and Shaggy would get along extremely well. I feel like
they would.
Like, she would 100% eat some weird-ass Scooby snack, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
For sure. I mean? Yeah. For sure. Like, I don't know. I thought, okay, I mean, yeah, with Audrey, okay, I'm gonna go pros and cons. Pros, every scene she's in, she looks iconic. Like, every outfit that she wears, like the famous black dress, all that kind of stuff, like, she looks phenomenal, you know? Like she looks like a supermodel, like, one of the best dressed women ever. You know, and she's a very attractive woman, Brandon.
I do know. I
was like the whole film, like, you were very, very attractive. I enjoy watching this movie with you in it.
Were you saying that out loud as you were watching the film?
I actually paused the film, ran to my window, and actually screamed it to the heavens, just like, Audrey Hepburn's so hot. And then my neighbors were like, cool. And I'm like, thank you. And then I went back to the movie.
They were like, cool.
Yeah, cool. But no, like, she's very, very attractive.
What a story.
Yeah, she's very, very attractive. She wears some very peculiar things in this movie, but she still somehow makes it work.
Yeah, she makes every outfit work. She's a gorgeous human being. Like, it's beyond comprehension sometimes.
It really is. Like, there's one point where she wears like an orange bathrobe, and yet she somehow looks like stunning in it. She looks so goddamn attractive, and you're just like, wow, okay, good, sure, you good on you, Audrey Hepburn. But like,
what I think,
I was just gonna say, in saying that with Audrey though, there are some weird things going on with her. Do you think she was airbrushed this movie? Like literally, like, because there were shots in this film where she'd be talking to Paul, and like Paul was in focus, but then the camera like cuts back to her, and the whole shot's a little bit blurry. And I was wondering if they literally blurred her out to make her look fainter and make her, skin better. I'm alleging that. Did you see something like that?
I'm not sure. Well, to be fair to me, I didn't watch this on a television for starters. I didn't watch this on a big enough screen to really notice this.
You watched this on your iPod Nano.
No. They were a thing.
They were a thing, weren't they?
God, this episode's just been a blast from the past, hasn't it? Well, I guess...
Did you really watch movies on your iPod Nano back in the day?
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't. I know that was possible, but I didn't own an iPod Nano.
Oh, wow.
The first iPod I owned was an iPod Touch. So...
Oh, wow.
That's how long it took me. I had an MP3 player.
Oh, bless. I
had a little brick of an MP3 player that had half the song's title because that's all it could fit into the fucking tiny little digital little screen there.
So that's what you watch Breakfast at Tiffany's on?
Yes.
It's just like an 8-bit version of Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's like pixelated Audrey Hepburn, just like. Whoop.
I had the most random. This is a total tangent.
Okay.
I had the most random taste in music, and for some reason, bringing up that MP3, the song I would always listen to, on that MP3, and it always kind of make me weirdly emotional as a child. Was I did the song, and I can't even I don't even know I don't know the name of this song.
Oh wow,
it's an iconic song. I'm just gonna sing the start of it, and I'm gonna try and do my best impression. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this photograph. Every time I look, it makes me laugh. You know that song?
No! That's so weird. What is that song?
What song is it?
Oh, wait, no. Photograph, make me laugh. Yeah, it's like a Nickelback song.
Eyes get so red when I look at what's on Joey's head.
No, I swear it's a Nickelback song, which makes it even funnier that you loved it back in the day. I swear it's Nickelback.
Dude, and it would make me weirdly emotional.
Look
and
at
I was
this
photograph.
Look at yeah, it's a meme. It's a meme.
Look at
we tied it back.
Look at that photograph. Yeah, every time I look, it makes me laugh.
Do you just scroll through your?
What the hell's on Joey's head?
do you scroll through your Insta feed and you're just like, look at this photograph? No, you see a Shaggy meme in your feed and you're just like, look at this photograph. You just have it on repeat every time you open up your feed.
Oh my god, this is the best episode we've ever done. Holy shit!
But Audrey Hepburn, she's a bit of a gold digger. She there's no denying it. She blatantly convinces men to come back with her. I'm gonna try and keep this episode on track. Someone's got to.
Yeah, do it.
Brenton is gonna try his hardest this episode just to derail it at every point possible. That's his goal. No, she's a bit of a gold digger. You see her bring some men back. She's got questionable motives, as does Paul, by the way. But yeah, she's still pretty cool. She's a cool chick, She holds a glass and cigarette in one hand. She grins quite a lot. She loves having her eyes wide open. She looks as though she's always on something. But she's still fun to hang out with. I reckon she'd be a fun person to hang out with, this character, this Holly.
For sure.
She's the kind of person you do want to party with,
Yeah, definitely.
What did you think of? So I found Audrey Hepburn captivating. She looks fantastic. She's great fun to spend with. I thought she did an amazing job. She should have won Best Actress for Oscar. Great job. What do you think of Paul?
I love Paul. Okay. This is the point I was going to bring up before. I love Paul because I think Paul is obviously he's the straight man in the structure of this film. He is our eyes into this world.
Yes.
He's Tobey Maguire fucking The Great Gatsby. Or what that character.
You're bringing that up because I deliberately said I didn't like that about Great Gatsby.
Hey, Tobey needs his fee too. He needs to make the dollary dues for his
Spider-Man money ran out.
He did Spider-Man 3, and he wasn't. He was counting on Spider-Man 4, man.
Have you
Like,
seen that?
it
Have you
just
seen
didn't
that
happen.
interview he's done where they interviewed him about Spider-Man 4 a couple of days before it got canned?
Yeah, dude, and he's got some stubble going. Like he looks like he's been in the gutter for like.
and he's so ready, to film Spider-Man 4. Like he looks as though he needs like the money so bad, and they're like, oh, and they're like, like he literally crawls out of a gutter. He's like, I was pretending to be a spider. I was like full on like Stanislavski, like method acting it. And they're like, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man. Literally, you've been a spider for the past year. What do you think of the Spider-Man 4 that's coming together? And he's like, oh, we've got a great plan for it. Sam's got a great script. It's going to be great. And they're like, cool. And then like the video hard cuts to like the next headline from like Variety saying Spider-Man 4 cancelled. And then I want someone to recreate the Hello Darkness, My Old Friend video, but with Tobey Maguire.
I mean, like, look, Ben Affleck became a meme, but like Tobey did it first. Let's be honest. Like, he looks like he's been pulled out of a garbage bin and put on the stand. He's like, my life's fucked now. Like,
oh, speaking of Tobey Maguire being a meme, I love that. My favorite meme of Tobey Maguire is him when he's crying from the Spider-Man movies.
Of course it is. You can't beat that.
He cries so much. Could you imagine Tom Holland crying like Tobey Maguire in these movies?
It's the way he cries. Like, so I mean, like Spider-Man 1, sure, you get it. Uncle Ben's dead. Like, he's an ugly crier too. So it's like, but he's emotional.
Such a
he's
good
in the
crier.
moment. He cries, and it's an emotional moment in the first movie. Kind of funny when you watch it. If you have a glass of wine and you watch that scene, like, sure, it's fun.
Or a bottle. Or a cask.
Speaking of which, Uncle Ben looks like he drank the carton, but let's move on.
Just want to drop that in there.
His face is so fucking red, dude. It's like crazy.
Are you saying when he gets shot, or just like him in general? Just like
no, just in general. I realized that was kind of a bad joke to make.
Do you reckon like Aunt May, when Tobey gets home, she's like packing away all the bottles that he had like left over? She's like, won't be needing these now.
When Spider-Man 2, when they're packing the house and she's like brought over their kid, and it's like he's going through old comic books and Ben's like fucking like cellar.
They're just like bottles and bottles of booze, and she's like, what? I'm glad we can finally talk about Ben's problem now that he's gone.
Yeah, and then okay, so what was my point I was making?
You were talking about
Maguire?
I don't know.
Okay, he's crying.
Yes.
He's crying because I have to get. So then number 2 happens, and he has the crying's not as much, and he has some emotional moments that are kind of they're a bit like they're a bit more understated. Like he has that great scene with Aunt May, like in the kitchen where he says, "I did it," and she's all like, "Well, what the fuck? I have to like leave the room," which is like when I watched that as a kid, like knives in the heart. I was like, "Holy shit."
Yeah.
And then we go into the garage scene where we really find out about Ben's drinking problem. But then in Spider-Man 3, we then have the scene where Harry Osborn dies, and I think like for some reason, like the whatever thread of like that was left of Peter Parker's sanity just clips, and at least that's what I think Tobey Maguire is going for.
You hope.
Because his face becomes he turns into a beetroot before our eyes.
Oh my god, he goes so red.
But one that's been like thrown on the floor and pounded a couple times, like that's kind of squished in half, and he just starts.
He just starts like spitting and splurting. He's like, and like
that's the
it's great because like MJ is there as well, and Kristen Dunst is just looking at him like, what the fuck?
Like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And then poor Harry Osborn. That's the last thing he fucking sees.
He's just like he grabs the goblin glider and just like puts it into himself a little bit harder. She's like, oh god, end it! Like I can't stand this shit anymore. And he's like, because Harry is the one that's dying, and yet Tobey is the one that's going through more pain on his face. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what I want to see? I want to see a crying competition between Spider-Man Tobey Maguire and Dark Knight Rises Alfred, and they're both just standing in a graveyard just trying to outcry each other. Like Tobey Maguire's like, and then Alfred's like, I, and he's like, and he's like, I failed.
I failed you.
Uncle Ben,
you trusted me, and I failed you. Like that's like honestly, in the land of superheroes and that stuff, That's the real crossover we want.
Oh, it'd be so funny. They're just like the sequel to Spider-Man 3 and Batman 3 is just Alfred and Tobey Maguire just going to a bar, and they're both just really, and you find out then that the DC and Marvel universes crossover, and they're both just crying in a bar. and then yeah. And Tobey's like, I can't do this anymore. And then Alfred's like, it's okay. I failed the Wayne family, but I won't fail the Parker family.
No, he goes, well, wait, he says, Alfred, is there still hope for me to recover? Is there still hope for me to recover from this, like, for my career to like, you know, to continue after this flop? And then Alfred just turns to him and gives him a wry little wink, and he says, never.
Never. he's like, why do we fall again? To pick ourselves back up. And Toby's like, you reckon? And then Alfred's like, no, not you, only Bruce Wayne.
Only Bruce Wayne. Only Christian Bale, yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, Paul.
Yeah. You know what?
Look,
I
like the character.
Like
I really...
I found him boring.
Because I think the film is his story. Like, it's bloody not Holly's. It's his story.
I mean, yeah, he is like the protagonist. She's like the Jack Sparrow, and he's like the Orlando Bloom.
No, I really like the character, and I like his arc in the film. And I really love the whole last scene of this movie.
Yeah, the last scene is what sells it to me, but we'll do that in spoilers. But I agree. Like, I think this movie is a great movie throughout. I don't think it has any weak points. Like, I didn't find a lull in the movie at any point where I was like, oh, come on, fast forward. But like, yeah, that last scene like makes this movie go from a great movie to an excellent movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although speaking of, but with Paul though, I do want to note, I do find it weird that she calls him after her brother. You know what I mean? Is that a little bit creepy?
Yeah, it's like
because there's obviously sexual tension there, and yet she decides to name him after her brother. I'm like, you're sexually attracted to a man you're calling after your brother. That's not really nice, is it? That's not correct.
Well, honestly, for him, like, from his perspective, like, that's like the ultimate friend zone move. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
so much. And you think like he probably is going to be friend zone the whole film, like, because he doesn't really make that much advances.
Well, he basically is, like, the whole movie. She just kind of strings him along.
Yeah, that friend zoning woman.
What a bitch.
I know. But you know what? He does it too to this other girl. Like,
Yeah.
What did you think of his decorating friend? I say decorating with the biggest air quotes. What do you think of that woman?
Oh, see, this is what I mean. Like, again, okay, here we go. Brenton's going to say his
Hot
number
take.
one quote in classic movie banter. It's complicated, man.
Oh, here we go. But you're right.
I like it that they, like, this guy has that. It's like, it's interesting for his character.
So wait, so back up. What was that? Because I didn't get that. I didn't get that relationship. I might be dumb, but was she a prostitute? Was she? Who was she? What was going on there?
No,
what was the nature of that relationship?
I think he was the prostitute. I think that she was paying him for his company because she was an older lady and obviously hadn't found.
So he and Audrey do similar work.
Yeah, and so I think he generally does it for the money. Like, he's a writer. He's not.
He does it for that cash and money.
Yeah, and to live the lifestyle, I think, as well, and to, like, which is interesting because I think that's kind of their connection in a way. Obviously, he's got more of a moral compass than Holly does.
Yeah, and it's good because the whole film you're watching him try and make be a better person and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and also, but at the same time, I know I called her a bitch before, and, you know, I probably stand by that, but at the same time, he's a bit of a bitch too for staying in that situation when he probably should leave for his own benefit.
Oh yeah, he's an intelligent man. Like, he should have seen what was coming. Like, he should have walked away.
But I think he does, and he chooses to stay.
Yeah. Because he's mad.
Well, once we get to spoilers, we'll say how that works out. But, you know, you hope it works out for him because you're like, dude, you're going to fuck up your life if this doesn't turn around quickly.
It's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you,
which I think it's a really, I just want to say, but I think that's a really interesting relationship then between, just discussing all around that between those characters, but specifically between the two main ones. I think that just creates so much tension and drama, and actually something that's quite relatable. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because they're both flawed, and they both share similar flaws, but they can't admit that to each other.
Yes, and there's something in that I think that's why this is so iconic. Because I was sitting there and I was relating to it, and I was like, holy shit, like this movie came out in 1961, and I'm really relating to this and to this relationship.
Yeah, nearly 70 years later, like the relationship holds it up. Like, yeah. What doesn't hold up and what doesn't, the most egregious thing in this entire film, quite openly, is,
like what a transition
like,
and a setup
like
for our good.
like this film is so wonderful, but in this beautiful cake, someone decided to use shit as the icing, and they spread it across the whole cake. So you have to eat this cake with this shit icing.
No, it's not even shit icing. It's that someone like carved out like the inside of the cake, like a little hole like from underneath, and then they stuffed the shit in there, and then put the bottom of the cake back on, and then you slice it, and so like every slice you have is like got like the inside of the slice has got a piece of shit there. That's what it's like. And so, like, you eat the end of the cake and it's good, and then sometimes you just put your fork in and you just go, oh, it's the shit. And then you have to, like, recover and then move on.
Brenton, are you speaking from experience?
Yes.
So for listeners that don't know what this movie has, Audrey Hepburn, she has an Asian neighbor, a Japanese old man neighbor.
No, a landlord.
A landlord, pardon me. A landlord.
Slash neighbor.
Neighbor.
You're halfway there.
Who lets her in from time to time. He's probably in 4 or 5 scenes the whole movie, and it cuts to him every like 20 minutes or so, and he's the comic relief. And this Japanese man is played by very white actor Mick Rooney, who does probably one of the most racist things I've seen in cinema.
Okay, no, it's not that, you know, it's not the fact that he's a white, it's the fact that he's white playing an Asian person isn't even the most racist thing about it.
Oh, no.
It's
the
actually,
whitewashing is the undercurrent to this fucking tidal wave that like knocks over this building of a film.
It's his performance. It's so horrendous.
It's so
like
bad.
It's literally like what's it called from Treasure Island? The black spot. It's like it's on you when you watch this, and you know those pirates are coming for you. You know what I mean? Like
he just talks just so it's not even stereotypical because
dude,
like
it's
even
not even the talking.
It's just like the look, like the buck teeth, the deliberately cut eyes, like the pointing, the tone of voice, like all of it. It's just so offensive.
Walking into doors that are clearly
it's like weirdly slapstick, and it's like I don't understand it.
But that's not even the worst thing. This is the worst thing about it. Is that the worst thing about this is that if you cut all of that content from this film, one, nothing would be removed from the actual plot or storyline.
Very
or anything
correct.
That actually matters. And two, it could be so easily done and removed, and then this film would have like the biggest black dot, like the biggest shit in the cake would just be removed. And it's so possible.
You know, I don't know why, because exactly, you're so right. He doesn't need to be in the movie. He's comic relief for the sake of it. And like, I mean, she kind of needs him to get into the building. So,
but
like,
it's not even comic relief. I mean, but it's not even comic relief, dude. It's like racist relief. It's like
that's what the writer's like. We don't need comic relief in this story. We need racist relief. Like,
it's like, God, like, oh gosh, what can we do? Like, should we make people laugh? Have a comic character? No, let's not have that. Let's have the most racist thing. Not even in the history of film. Just in like, you know, just probably like in art, you know, some people's personal history of seeing something that's just so abhorrently awful.
That's so bad. Because I thought when you and I watched the James Bond film where Bond pretended to be Japanese, I thought that was the worst we were going to see of a white bloke being Japanese. Brenton, this podcast proved us wrong.
This won't be outdone. I can say that for a fact. This will
yeah,
not be.
No one could do worse than Mick Rooney.
But at least in James Bond, he's a spy. So
yeah,
you know.
like there's a narrative decision as to why he had to pretend to look Japanese. This is just like Mick Rooney, just like being goofy as an old Japanese man. Like it's just, Oh, it's so bad, and for a lot of people, this will turn you off the movie. I would say, like, especially for Japanese viewers, like, I don't think they could. I don't think they would take lightly to it.
Well, what's interesting as well is that it's one of the first things you see in the film.
It literally opens like it
coming
up
out
because the opening scene is her, famously having breakfast at Tiffany's, which we'll talk about more in Title Talk. But she it's a whole montage. There's like this there's like an old choir for the music in the background. It's like. As like the opening credits go through, and she rocked up to her apartment, and then Mickey Rooney just bursts in, and I'm like, oh no! And I remember when I started the movie, I'm like, oh no, Mickey Rooney, fucking hell! But thankfully, he's not in it as much as you would think.
Thankfully,
yeah.
But that's the only thing we can be thankful for.
It really is, yeah.
That's it. Holy shit! Venom should have killed him over Harry. Let's be honest.
It's so true. So, should we rate the movie, dude?
Yeah. Let's go. So I'm gonna give this a thumbs up, despite the major flaws that we just said. Well, the major flaw, and it just took a little while to get me in. Let's say.
Yeah, to get you in, to get you hooked up.
So yeah, but it's a thumbs up. It starts off weaker than it finishes, but the finish, man, the ending is just
powerful. So worth it for the ending. Yeah, I also give it a thumbs up. I think it's a great movie for a Thursday night. I think you'd have a great time with it. Perfect film if you have a partner. Perfect film if you love fashion. Perfect film if you want to go to New York and you want to see a great film about New York, because there's not enough films about New York. So yeah, thumbs up all the way.
Damn.
Nice,
man. Well, now that we've spoken about that, and we've had many tangents, and finally got through one of the first sections of the show, let's talk about some spoilers.
Okay.
Spoilers. Classic movie banter.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Good jingle.
I don't have a lot to talk about here.
Oh, dude, I got a fuckload to talk about. So we ride this train for a while.
I want to talk about, though, the main thing I need to talk about is the actual what should have been the real Oscar winning performance.
Yes.
For best leading feline is the cat.
Oh my goodness.
Holy shit.
Oh
dude.
My god.
Some of the things this cat does in this film blows my mind.
I've never been so moved by an animal performance.
Neither have I. I put it in my Instagram story because I was so moved by it. And I tagged you in it.
Yes, I saw, and I was like, it was like right before we watched the episode, and I'm like, oh, I was so shook because of that scene. And like, well, do you want to talk about the final scene? Let's just talk about that whole final scene now. Do you want to walk me through it?
Dude, let's go. So we're in the cab, and we're heading to the airport because Holly, so she calls herself,
yeah,
is about to head to South America.
Yeah, to finally marry the president of Brazil or whatever it is.
It's not Brazil. It's a much smaller country than that. I can't remember what country it is.
Oh really? Oh okay.
It's a country.
Okay.
Is it Brazil?
I thought it was
Maybe
Brazil.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Brazil.
Probably. I don't know. He's the president.
He's the president.
And so she's going to marry him, and then she finds out that there was a let's call it a note sent to her apartment.
She finds it really awkwardly, like in a little scrawled note, just like fuck you, I don't want to marry you, bye. And she's like, oh okay, cool, cheers.
It's not. Hey, that was a well written breakup letter.
That was actually. I'm actually going to copy and paste that for my next breakup. Like,
dude, it's a great letter, well written. Like, good on that guy. Like, great skills in terms of writing there. Maybe not sticking by his moral compass in the situation, but he's president, and like he says, he has responsibilities to oblige, and he can't be affiliated with someone that has a criminal record.
Yeah, that might do him, wouldn't it?
Due to other things that happen in the film, because she is affiliated herself with the wrong crowd. So anyway, we're in the taxi, and then she finds that out, and then she has a bit of a breakdown, and then Paul's there, just kind of like, yeah, that fucking sucks for you, but maybe let's now focus on you and getting you less messed up than you are at the moment, and trying to like build yourself so you can have a happy life and move on, and get yourself out of the shit that you are now clearly in. And then she responds with, "Nah, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave anyway, and travel South America. And can you tell me the 5 richest guys in South America, please? Because I'll probably hook up with them and try and get married that way."
And he's like, "Yeah, here's the BuzzFeed article."
Yeah, and then he's just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here now," and finally stands up for himself. a little more. Like, he does stand up for himself at other points through the film, but he really stands up for himself and says, I can't put myself through this pain and this shit anymore, and I'm leaving. But the kicker that does it, that finishes it for him, he's not the first one to leave the cab, because she kicks the cat out of the cab into the pouring rain, into some gutter, and
she literally
leaves it.
throws him
And
out
then-
of the vehicle, and this cat is like lands in a puddle, like has to like suddenly run and like into the alleyway, and she's like shoo, and also before she does it, she says like, oh, this looks like a dirty ass place where you probably belong, and then just ejects them. Like, it is so cold. It is the most heartbreaking and saddening moment in cinema I think I've ever witnessed.
Rip my heart in that moment.
Like, because you don't see it coming, it comes out of nowhere, and like, I literally almost cried then and there, because I was so upset and so outraged.
And what's worse is that so then like, basically we have this shot of the cab driving off, hard cut to this cat that has its head resting on this little gate area, and just screaming, meowing in the rain, just looking around for its owner. And it's just pouring rain onto it. It's like drenched. And then it just hard cuts back to the scene in the car, and to Paul's reaction, he's like, the fuck?
He's like,
And that's when he gets out, and he's like, I'm fucking done. I'm leaving. And then he gives her the ring that he got her, the engraved ring, and then he fucks off after the cat and is looking for it, and then she obviously has a moment of going, oh shit, this is too real now. And
oh shoot, I just threw out a cat.
She finally gets off her fucking high horse, gets out of the car, runs through that fucking rain, finds that cat.
I didn't think she was. I was so convinced that it would have just generally like been like killed or something. Like, or...
Me too. Yeah, me too. I was like, the cat's gone. And then she finds that cat in the crate. And then she turns to him, and then he sees in her eyes that she is like willing to change and like actually just like be honest with herself for fucking 5 seconds. And they share a kiss, and the movie ends, and it's awesome. That's
amazing. Also, as they kiss, the cat is like smothered in between them, like awkwardly trying to breathe. like.
Oh my god! And that's right, because the cat does the most amazing thing. And it was probably directed to do this, I imagine. I don't know how they got this cat to do it. It was probably with a rat or something they were dangling behind the lens. But they are kissing, and it's this passionate kiss. And the cat's head is like jammed under their chin area. Like.
Yeah, it's struggling to breathe.
But it's looking away from the camera, so you see the back of its head. And then, as on cue, in time, like. Obviously, it's not in time with the music, because there's no music. They added the music later, but it's not that amazing. But the cat's head turns, it shoves its head around so that they're still kissing, and it's turned its head so it's facing and looking like directly past the camera. And it's the most perfect, it's like the most amazing perfect shot you could ask for. Perfectly choreographed, and one of the things the only thing that's really choreographed in the scene is the cat's head turning around, which is an animal. So,
I do not know
guys
why out of this film, the iconic image is Audrey Hepburn in the black dress. Because it should have been the cat. It should have been the cat.
It should have just been that cat in the rain.
It's like, it's such...
But even look, the cat, even in the party scene, is incredible. Like, the fact that it jumps off a shelf onto some random guy's shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
And then just hangs there for a while is amazing.
It's so good.
And like, some of the shit this cat does in the movie is just... like
he's the highlight of the film,
MVP.
isn't he? Like,
it would blow my mind. Like, seriously, like, what a performance!
Oh, it's so good. He gives Jimmy the Crow a run for his money. Frankly, like, what a cat indeed. Like, speaking of that party, I really like that scene as well. Like, I thought that was great, where you see all the different characters get introduced, and they all kind of like, you see the different dynamics of the world Audrey's trying to like manipulate. I want to know in that party what drugs the woman is on, who's looking into the mirror. You know, there's like one woman who's just...
Oh, man. And she's just like crying her eyes out.
I want to I want to know what happened there. I'm like, that's a whole thing. Like, yeah. And the party ends in a great way too. Cause like
oh, yes.
The police come.
And
there's a great moment. One of my favorite moments in this movie is when Paul and the South American guy, they both like climb out the window, and they give each other like a little handshake as they do it. Like, they both look at each other, have a quick 3-second shake of the hand, and then just like both like run off in different directions.
Well, that's not even the most perfect thing in that scene. So Paul looks out the window,
Oh yeah,
obviously to look for Holly, and then she just like acts like it's not even her place or anything, and just gestures to the place and says, "Oh yeah, the party's up there. Please raid the apartment." And knowing that they're about to come up, Paul goes, "Oh shit, the president of Brazil, let's call it, is here." So he goes and finds him in the party, taps him on the shoulder and says, "Yo, we need to get the fuck out of here." They go out the bathroom window. There's a window behind the shower.
Yeah.
Which is like the most random, like...
And her agent is like weirdly making out her neck. Like
Yeah. So they climb out the window. They're on the...
That's so true. Why is there a window there? That's so random. I didn't even think about that.
Plot hole... That's one of the little plot holes in the movie. That you just think and you go... That window was clearly put there for the gag, but or maybe not. Maybe in the 60s there was a bit more freer, and they just had windows in the showers, and people were just cool with strangers, just
yeah,
having a squiz at what you.
It was the 60s, man. It was a time for free love.
Anywho, so they escape onto the fire escape. Funny that, and Paul's going back up to his apartment, and the president's going down, and like they go, they go to separate, and then they just let's acknowledge this moment. Thank you for saving me, and thank you for being the president. And
it's such like a bro moment. Like, it's great. I love it so much. I thought, what a highlight of the film. I was a big old fan. Yeah. You know what? I also love like the meeting scene because I was shocked at the time when he didn't end up using the phone, because he comes to the apartment saying, "Hey, can I use your phone?" He never ends up making the phone call, which made me think, was he just keen on her from the start? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Because I could see, because the whole film you learn that she's like, leading men on, then like abandons them, and as soon as you learn this, you're like, dude, she's gonna do the same shit to him. Like, you could see it a mile away before she finally does it.
I will say this though in his defense, like maybe the thing is that he goes to make the phone call, but okay, let's say you're in his shoes.
Oh, I'd love to be in his shoes.
If you're not necessarily Holly, but you go into someone, and this applies to anyone, any gender, anything, but you go in and you see someone that you were just like intoxicated with, like in the first 2 minutes. It's like, I'm not making the phone call to, I don't know, my mum or who knows. Like, I'm just not going to invest myself in the things I want to invest myself into. And so I think it's more that maybe. Than that he was like keen on her from like the 2 seconds. I think it's more than that. Yeah,
I think it does. Yeah, he's just.
And maybe
it's
not even that. Maybe it's maybe it's like maybe it's not even. I mean, it probably is, but it might not even be sexual yet at that stage. But it's like he's so intrigued by it.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I do believe that like he's an intelligent man though. Like, he's a writer. Like, although I must say with him as a writer, I thought his book had a shit cover. When he whipped out his book and it was just like a fucking red stripe and it said 9 lives. I'm like, that's a shit cover. Whoever you got to design that, like,
buddy, come on,
do better. I love it though when they get his book from the library and he like scribbles in it, and the librarian's like about to explode like in the middle of the library, and he writes this thing. I really want to know what he wrote in the book, like what the actor wrote. If he just like drew some like dick or something like that, or like just I want to find the copy on like a props list.
Sure.
Yeah. Did you enjoy, Brenton? Did you enjoy that this film was a blatant ad for Tiffany's?
I did. And it was, and I enjoyed it, and yeah.
Like, there's a whole sequence where they just go to Tiffany's, and they're like, man, how great is the store Tiffany's? and then they're just, like, walking around going, oh, Tiffany's has such good merchandise. Oh, if only we could afford Tiffany's. Oh, wait, Tiffany's does good cheap stuff. Well-priced Tiffany's. We should get some Tiffany's. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, I know what you mean. But,
yeah.
I mean, sure, why not? Why not?
Why not?
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Tiffany's isn't great?
No, but you know what? I did love that guy who... I know, in real life, I see a lot of people take photos outside Tiffany's and like they like eating food, and I'm like, oh, it's probably a homage to the movie, or maybe they're just hungry. Who knows? But
I don't know.
Tell you what though, I did love the shopkeeper at Tiffany's. I love it when she says to him, like, oh, I don't want to cause any offense, but I'm not really a big fan of diamonds. And the guy gives her the most like angry, triggered look I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, he looks as though he's about to like.
It's great, isn't it?
I thought he was about to like kick them out of the store, because when she said she didn't like diamonds, he's like, you fucking what?
Oh, it's pretty funny.
It's so great. It's so good. I also love the scene where the pot explodes in her kitchen, because she's cooking and that thing goes off like a nuke. Do you remember this? This is like,
Yes, dude.
it's like 2/3 through the film. Like Paul's like coming in to see how she's going. She's like, oh, I'm Audrey Hepburn. I'm just trying to cook and get by in the city. Haha. My couch is a bathtub, and she's like, I'm gonna cook this food, and the next minute, like the pot explodes, but it's like a 3-meter jet of just like food that like plummets to the roof.
Dude, and I reckon it's like a fucking mushroom cloud. You know what I mean? Like, insane.
It'd just be so funny if the cat was sitting on the lid at the time, and then just suddenly the cat goes flying.
Holy shit! No,
That'd be so
a horror
great.
movie.
Did you think also when she was holding the cat early on in the film that she was going to put the cat in the fridge? She opens the fridge holding the cat.
Yeah, you kind of had that moment of.
I was like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, like the last scene I just wanted to talk about was actually the last scene between when Paul ends his relationship with his other lady friend.
Yes.
I thought that was a really strong scene as well.
Yeah, and actually, in all seriousness, it was a
it
great
was
scene.
very well written, very well acted. Yeah, it was awesome. And like when she gives him that check, like the $1,000 check.
Yeah,
like,
because you see him freak out over $50, so you understand what $1,000 means to him.
yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and she's like, what's the line she says to him at that point?
She says
She's
"bay"
like,
at one point. I'm like, I didn't even know people in the '60s say "bay," but because I thought it was like a new word. Which is like, oh, you and Bay. Tell you what, have a week off. You go see Bay, and do your time. Then you'll come back. And he's like, nah.
Yeah, it's a strong scene. It's really good. But yeah, that was my last kind of scene to talk about in spoilers. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I'm ready to tell you, Brenton, how they made this movie.
How did they make this making movies? Yeah, how did they make this movie?
Okie dokie. So I'm gonna open this up, and I'm gonna say, okay. In the party, you know how she wore a bed sheet for the party because she's like, oh, whoops, I'm wearing a bed sheet. I'm so fashionable. I'm Audrey Hepburn. The reason she did that is because there was actually a previous scene that got cut in the movie where it showed that Holly was being forced to improvise after having a bath. So she managed to ruin everything in her wardrobe. She's like, shit, all I have is now this bloody bed sheet, and she's like, it's alright, I'll have a party in it, and it's okay. So that's why she wears some of those things.
Interesting. Interesting.
Mm.
So, director Blake Edwards really wanted an authentic feel to Holly's party scene.
Okay.
He ordered real champagne and let the actors come up with their own visual gags for the shoot.
Really?
Yeah, man.
That's amazing. Because there are some actors who pull some weird as fuck faces in those scenes. Like the extras are really going for it. Like they're having a good time. That's so funny they got drunk. That's so funny.
Dude, they're going nuts. Yeah, yeah.
Also fun fact, the decorating chick, so that woman, do you know that she in real life, she's the wife of Roald Dahl?
Are you serious? That's really interesting.
That's a real thing. She was the one.
Really?
Yeah, she was married to Roald Dahl for 30 whatever years, like their whole lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know. I was like that really fascinating when I looked her up. I'm like, who is this woman? And I'm like, oh wait, that's so cool. She's married to Roald Dahl. What a power couple. It makes me think, because it's funny because she's sleeping with a writer, so that makes me like to think that Truman Capote based this guy off Roald Dahl. It's just
sure. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Yeah.
Maybe.
You got something else?
Yeah, I do. Fred's sexuality.
Ooh.
So the character of Fred was gay, but because of the Hays Code guidelines designed to censor productions for morality, his sexuality couldn't be referred to in this movie. Which is interesting because there seems to be a whole like
yeah, we never talk about the brother, how he ends up being dead and all that.
no, but we never learn everything about him in the sense of
No.
you feel that there's something missing, and so it's not surprising to hear that.
Yeah, but I don't understand how him being homosexual would have changed anything. Frankly, with the
No,
story.
I don't think it's that, but I think it's given the time that this is written in, it does add something. If that makes sense. It's not necessarily his sexuality. It's at the time. And so the way that people, so when that's discussed, there'd be certain, I don't know, there'd be an interesting dialogue to have with those two characters about this brother, because obviously she would know something about him that the audience and Paul doesn't. And so I think that there's room in there for something more interesting to unfold, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's a shame.
Yeah, what a shame. It isn't shame. Yeah, I wish we saw more of Fred. It'd be funny if Fred rocked up and that also was played by the same guy, just as a fun little twins moment. That'd be fantastic.
Sure.
It's like they're like long lost twins. It's like a prequel to the Twins film that we reviewed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
With the opening
God.
scene, there's a fun fact I have on that. Apparently it was really difficult to shoot that opening scene where she's actually having breakfast at Tiffany's because there was obviously crowd control because they did that at the real Tiffany's in New York. Audrey Hepburn didn't actually like pastries, so she didn't actually like the things she was eating for breakfast. So she had to really pretend that she loved it. But then also, there was an accident that nearly resulted in the electrocution of a crew member during that scene.
Really? Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. So it was a bit of a hassle to organize.
But it was worth it.
It was worth it.
Someone nearly died.
So-
it was worth it.
But hey, she's at Tiffany's. Now, Brenton, the most important thing I want to talk about this episode is we're bringing back another segment. We started with Jimmy the Crow, and that's Animals of the Podcast. I want to talk to you about Orangey the Cat.
Sure. Let's talk about him.
So, Orangey the Cat. So, after seeing his iconic performance in this film, I did a little bit of digging, Brent, and I did some research, and I'm like, who is this cat, this prolific member of cinema? I want to know if he has a body of work, what's his deal? How did this cat come about? And turns out, Brenton, he was a prolific animal actor in the 50s and 60s, and he is known to be the only cat ever to win 2 Patsy Awards, Brenton. Now, you may be asking yourself, what's a Patsy? I'm glad you did, Brenton. It stands for the Picture Animal Top Star of the Year and is known as the Animals versions of the Oscars.
Wow.
This is a real
But you
thing.
can see why he won.
You can
to be
see.
honest. You can see why he's won, twice.
It's pretty amazing. He did it for the film Rhubarb, which I don't know. It's about a cat. Oh, wait, so Rhubarb is the film where a cat inherits a fortune. This is a movie that exists. And the second one was for this.
Oh my god.
Where he was credited as the film cat. Okay, I really want to know what the film Rhubarb is about now from 1951. That sounds fantastic. Especially now that we know Orangey the Cat was the main star. But anyway, so he's also been credited as the cat in the 1959 film adaptation of The Diary of Anne Frank.
God.
He's
crazy.
He's acted opposite Anne Frank. And he was also credited as the family pet in the 1957 film The Incredible Shrinking Man, in which he is mistakenly assumed to have eaten the title character. So he gets around, Orangey. He's been around. Apparently, though,
He's an experienced cat. Let's say that he knows he knows how to do the job.
he's pretty great. Although, despite these amazing performances, according to his owner, he was a real New York type of cat, and he was known as the world's meanest cat. So the studio executive said that he often scratched and bit actors, but that his redeeming.
Holy shit!
I know. So he was a bit of a diva, with this cat, but he had such a prolific career because he had this ability to stay still for several hours. Although there were a couple incidents where he would just randomly run away, the cat would flee, and they'd have to shut down production so that everyone on the crew could try and find him. So eventually, they hired guard dogs to stand near the entrance of the studios. This is a real thing that happened. They had guard dogs that they paid to make sure the cat didn't escape. This is a real thing.
Orangey, you legend.
Cinema.
Why was he hired? I mean, it's because he could get that last shot, man. It's like, it was that last shot. Holy shit. And it was like the party scene, dude, like an amazing cat, but he knew that he was in demand and he could get away with this diva bullshit, you know what I mean?
I just love that out there, like you say, oh, well, so there's someone whose job, like you say, oh, what do you do for a living? And say, oh, my job is to make sure a cat doesn't run away on fucking set. And I have to stand by these dogs and make sure this actor cat doesn't get let loose. It's like at what point do you go, how did my life lead me to this, when this is my profession? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a pretty awesome job when you think about it. It's like cat wrangler, I guess you'd call it.
The cat hunter, like that's what he does mostly. Oh, I love it.
So
hey, let's look at this film's poster.
Okay.
So here we are, Breakfast
Ooh.
at Tiffany's. Brendan, what do you think of this poster?
Okay, here we go. Okay, so the main image is obviously of Audrey Hepburn with Orangey. And that's great. That's awesome.
I'm glad Orangey is on the poster. That's a plus.
That's a plus. I don't understand here on the right that they've picked the right scene, like of them in the rain with the kiss, and they've got some weirdly multicolored buildings in the background.
Yeah.
I don't get why that is placed so far to the right. There's a big space of white here that's just dying for something.
Also, like, it kind of spoils the movie. It really spoils that they get
Who
together.
cares? There's other posters that like spoil shit as well. I don't think that's the worst thing.
You're like, it was the 60s. Who cares?
Like in the 60s, they used to like tell you what happened in the movie, like in the trailer. Like, they tell you
I
everything.
love those old trailers where it literally says the whole plot.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's great.
Because that's when people only used to watch trailers like right before a movie, and you'd only ever see a trailer once. You probably even didn't remember what you saw.
I don't know if I've said. I think I have said this on the podcast before, but I wish it was kind of like that now.
Same.
Like I don't give a shit about this whole spoiler culture we have, where everyone's so scared that you can't have a conversation about something because you're scared you're going to spoil something. Guess what? It shouldn't matter.
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Oh shit, Nathan. Books are a different story. No, I'm kidding. No, but like we should be able to like have discussion and things around film without worrying about someone's enjoyment of something. Because like honestly, if you can't enjoy something because you know a plot point in any piece of fiction, obviously it's not being executed well enough for you to like actually give a shit about it in the first place.
It's true.
It's all about execution, not about some shock horror thing that's just thrown in so you have like half a second of oh shit that happened. And then you forget about it because it wasn't that great. Anyway, that's my tangent done.
That's all done.
So, look, if they'd moved this part into the left, I feel like it wouldn't be bad.
I don't like that white space. I don't like the poster. Like, I think what it should have been was like, I like the Audrey Hepburn in the black dress. Yes, that's iconic. Like, they should have definitely kept that. But like, it should have probably had like just the store of Tiffany's in the background, or like it could have been her in her apartment, or maybe like she's I don't know, she's running around town with all these different men, or she's in prison interviewing the guy, like literally anything else. Like, you know what I mean?
I like it. I think keep it simple. I think what they've got there is right. Move that to the left. Get rid of this weird multicolored border they have going on. Get rid of that.
Yeah, not a
blue and
fan.
red. Like, that's a bit tacky. Get rid of that, and then I feel like it'd be alright. Also, I don't like how breakfast at Tiffany's is in pink with the stupid ring around the T.
Yeah. Bad font.
That's a bit lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, bad font in the actual film as well. Like, yeah, I'll just.
Yeah.
Also, Audrey Hepburn. Also, what's that say? Plays that darling Holly. Also, Audrey Hepburn plays that darling Holly Goitre to a new high in entertainment delight. It looks just so bland. Like they could have done, because this film is not bland. I thought it was great. Like, I don't know. They should have just.
Yeah.
It should have just been the cat.
Obviously
it should have just been the
worked
cat in the fucking sewer, and that's what they should have put on the poster. That iconic frame.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, why not?
maybe you think the cat's breakfast, maybe like breakfast at Tiffany's, what's the cat doing in the sewer? Ooh.
So let's talk about title talk.
Right.
Was there
yes.
breakfast at Tiffany's?
I've got a bone to pick. Years as a child, hearing of the film Breakfast at Tiffany's, as a kid, thinking, oh, there's an iconic film called Breakfast at Tiffany's. I'm like, oh, wait, Tiffany's is a jewelry store. So I thought maybe there was a restaurant branch to Tiffany's. Maybe back in the 60s, they just decided to have a cafe adjacent to Tiffany's. And maybe she was having a restaurant. Maybe she was having a full eggs and bacon at Tiffany's. Brenton, she just has like a bite out of like a scone for like 5 seconds outside Tiffany's, and that's the breakfast at Tiffany's. Was it technically in the movie? Yes. Did I wish it was a lot more? Yes.
So you're severely disappointed by this breakfast at
I'm
Tiffany's?
very disappointed. I was expecting like a full-on English breakfast, like the whole works, just like her going bonkers and like having a proper buffet, like at Tiffany's. Like she brings in like staff, like plates, all that shit, places it on the jewelry counters and just fucking scoffs it in front of them and says, "What are you going to do about this? I'm Audrey Hepburn." That's what I wanted. Barely a breakfast, 1 star.
One can only dream. One
Boo.
can only dream.
Bad title talk.
But at least there was breakfast at Tiffany's.
There was. I mean, in saying that, it's a fantastic title. It's iconic. It's an amazing title. Like, I wouldn't change it. I just wish the actual breakfast was better.
So Nathan, shall we power to the people? Let's pass it to the people that power. Yeah.
What did you?
So breakfast at Tiffany's. It has on the tomato meter. it stands at an 88%.
Yeah.
I can understand, given Mickey Rooney's performance. I get it. It should take a big chunk off it, but so that's understandable.
Yeah.
So let's look at the audience score, which is at a 91.
Voted by over 240,000 people.
Fair enough. Yeah.
There you go.
Fair enough. So let's get cracking into this. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian, top critic, says he gives it a positive review, and he says, "Well, the movie still looks very good, and you'd need a heart of stone not to love the cat."
He's so
3 out of
true.
5 he gives it. Yeah. On the money. On the money.
It's very, very true, yeah. Neil Minogue from Common Sense Media. She liked it. She gave it 5 out of 5, and she said, "Fabulous, but lots of drinking and cigarettes."
Hey, look, if they're the only criticisms you have, and they're not really criticism, one, but like two, the real criticism is Mickey Rooney.
It's true.
And he still gave it a 5 out of 5, but just an interesting review.
But also, there's not that much drinking and cigarettes. There's not
there's not that much.
It's not like Wolf of Wall Street, or it's not like you're seeing these characters like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even that druggy, which is fantastic. They're just like lighting cigarettes and that kind of stuff. And, like, there's also like continuity errors with the cigarettes as well. Like, there's a scene where like she falls asleep on Paul's lap, and like he's smoking a cigarette, and then like in the middle of the night she wakes up and like starts sleep talking, and like his cigarette is still lit. And I'm like, well, okay, someone hasn't been keeping track of this.
There was a couple of scenes like that, I actually thought, from memory. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but yeah, some little continuity things. But while we've said that point now, let's go on to Gabriel Shanks from Mixed Reviews, who gave it a negative review.
Oh, no.
Gabriel says, "Dated, leisurely paced romance that doesn't deserve its stellar reputation. No." Okay, I will say...
Leisurely paced? I don't think it was leisurely paced.
I will say that the start, like I said, was hard to get into. I thought it was a bit boring at the start. But once it hit the ground running, like, I was in. Like, I was really enjoying myself and thought, yeah, I can see why this film has the reputation it has. So, no, I think the only thing dated in this is the Mickey Rooney stuff. So
I agree. I very much agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Sanya N gave it 3 stars and wrote, "It's so dull." Is it dull?
I don't even think we need... Look, I don't even think we need to comment on that.
No.
That's kind of a similar thing to Gabriel before. Like, no, it's not dull. Like, it's...
I can see some people being bored with this movie, like, but I think you need to know going in that it is a romantic film with the pacing of a romantic film. So you're not going to... It's not like...
Exactly.
They're not going to have breakfast at Tiffany's and suddenly turns into like a heist film where they have to rob Tiffany's or something. But if they were to make a sequel, that's what it would be. It's like Audrey Hepburn and Paul just like suddenly putting on like ski masks and having to like rob Tiffany's. They're like, the book didn't take off. We have to do this now.
John Kay gives this 2 stars. He says, "I never understood the popularity of this movie. I won't even get into the Mickey Rooney character." Well, obviously no one's getting into the Mickey Rooney character nowadays.
Even
like,
Mickey Rooney isn't getting into the Mickey Rooney character. Like, he's apologized so much since making this movie, saying, "I made such a mistake."
Shouldn't have done it. Big mistake.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to come back from. Yeah.
Suzanne S gave it 3 stars and said, "An overrated study in alcoholism that doesn't just do it for me."
These reviews suck. Like, sorry, but like, I just don't get these points. They're all about like drinking and it being dull, and just that's about it. And then only one mentioned the Mickey Rooney stuff. Like I said, I think there is maybe some pacing issues at the start, and like we said. At the start, sorry, and like we said, like in terms of the film, like the plot, that's not like the most exciting plot. It's more that they're exciting characters. So I don't know. It's still 3 stars, so that's fair enough.
Also, I don't think the film says anything about alcoholism. I don't think the film like said anything intelligent about it. It was just there. Like, I think it was just people drank a lot in the 60s. Like, yeah,
and it wasn't even the focus of it. So I don't get why it's relevant. Anyway, Megan M gives it half a star and says overrated. She's a prostitute with mental problems.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Okay. Well, she's not wrong, but that's the whole point of the movie.
It's true.
What?
It's like saying, "Wow."
That's not a criticism. It's like, what? Yeah,
it's like,
I don't know.
Stop it.
Come on, guys, give us some better reviews.
All right, well, here we go. Here's one.
Sorry.
Annabeth Mayor Hermione Luna, what a name, said, "This makes me feel so nostalgic for the golden age of Hollywood. It was just so classic, timeless, and elegant." Good point. Like, I must say, like the way the dialogue is recorded in this film, like it has that old kind of sound, like that old, like when we watched It's a Wonderful Life, it's like, "Oh, but will you do it, Paul? Oh, but I couldn't, for heaven's sake, darling. It just doesn't make sense." It's like that old kind of record kind of sound. Like, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous to listen to. It makes me miss it hugely. 100% agree with Annabeth.
Yeah, like I'd agree with that as well. Yeah. So this person on YouTube, H Martin Spliff, says, "Wow, the cat deserves an Oscar for this movie. Look at the expression on its face. It says it all. 1 minute everything's sweet and he's just going about life. The next he's out on the street in the pouring rain and he doesn't even know why, but he accepts it because life's a fact. That cat is up there with Marlon Brando and Laurence Olivier. Such a powerful performance. Agreed."
That's so true.
Agreed.
I mean, what was better?
One of the best performances of all time.
What was better? Marlon Brando in The Godfather or Orangey the Cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's?
There's no question. There's no, like, you can't disagree with the fact that Orangey gave probably the best performance on screen of all time.
Who would win in a fight between Marlon Brando in The Godfather and Orangey the Cat?
Orangey the Cat.
100%. I can see this
Orangey,
cat
without-
wrecking the
I didn't
shit
even hesitate.
out of Marlon Brando, just jumping on his face and clawing him to death.
Exactly.
And the last
Orangey.
reviewer, Coy Hopapton, said, "I had to go hug my cat after seeing this." Did you hug your cat, Brenton?
I did. I hugged both of them.
I went to my cat's grave and I hugged him too. I dug up those bones and I clenched them tight.
Did you dig him up?
Yeah.
And then did you cry like Tobey?
I did.
And then I was there and I consoled you and I said, "I failed you.
I've buried enough members of the cat family.
I've buried enough members of the Wayne family.
I'm like, Brenton, this is my cat.
But I won't." Jesus.
So that's Breakfast
Oh,
at Tiffany's,
God.
Brenton. What an episode.
Hey.
What a wild ride
Hey.
we've been on.
We got there in the
We
end.
did.
Hey? We got there in the end.
We did.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us. What a journey we've been on. I didn't know if we were going to make it, frankly.
But we did. We somehow got there. Thank you for keeping Nathan. Thank you for keeping this on track.
Oh, you're welcome. I don't think it was me. I think we're both trying to help us. Like,
Yeah. I also just wanted to say, like, while I was quite critical of some of those very simple reviews at the end there, like, I don't disagree that you deserve to voice your opinions. Everyone deserves to voice their opinion, and every opinion is kind of, like, relevant to that fact and, you know, deserves to be scrutinized.
yeah, we all
Listened to
support
is
the
main
First
thing.
Amendment.
But at the same time, I don't know. I just think, like, if you're going to criticize something, like,
Be good.
make some better points. And and maybe that comes back on me too, because I know I can sometimes.
But Brenton, that's so hypocritical for you to say.
Yes, yeah, that is true. But I feel like I'm opening a can of worms. But I just wanted to say that, like, yeah, I don't disregard anyone's opinion. I just think it's a simple, stupid opinion. Anyway, that's our episode today.
If you're on
if
iTunes,
you
make
wanna
sure you
follow
can
us-
chuck us a 5 stars and write a lovely thing. We'd love that. It'd really make our day, and it helps the podcast heaps.
That's right. And give us a shout out on Twitter. And by shout out, I mean, tell us what you think of Breakfast at Tiffany's. Please do.
Yeah,
Send
let
it
us
to
know.
Send us an email. Let us know. Like, we love to hear from you guys. Makes our days.
It does make our days. Yeah.
But I guess that's the end of the episode. So I guess I'll go out the way I came in. You know. So
Dude, the front
I'll
door's
see-
right there. Like,
No. It's much faster if I just go out. See you, Nathan.
finally I can bring out the cat now that he's gone. Oh, Orangey, I hope no one figures out I kidnapped you from set.